Now we want to go to a news conference. This is live, taking place in Jacksonville, about what will soon become the first lawsuit after Sunday's mass shooting there at a gaming tournament.
One of the victims has retained the law firm Morgan & Morgan to represent them. Let's listen in.
Because we're so scared of the potential of it happening to us. But Americans are resilient. As a nation, we're resilient. We don't run and hide. We get up and fight. That is who we are as a people. Despite the dangers that we face in our everyday lives, we go about living our ordinary lives as we would otherwise. But for this reason, it is increasingly important for business owners and event organizers to provide the highest level of security for us, given the growing safety concerns that we have in this country. This is not a time in America for bare bones security, or even worse, no security at all. This is a time for business owners, for the police, and for event organizers to provide the highest level of security for people that visit businesses, for people that visit events, and for people that go into large populated areas. Business as usual on the security front will no longer be tolerated by Americans. We are going to demand more. We must demand more from business owners. We must. It is time for business owners to step up their game, for event organizers to step up their game when it comes to security. Now, when we visit a place of business or attend an event, we have an expectation of safety. And business owners and event organizers have a duty to provide a safe environment for us to attend. Now, they do so by conducting a thorough analysis of the surrounding area, assessing the likelihood of a crime, a serious crime, a shooting, and then putting in the proper safety.
Stand by. All right, attorney there, Matt Morgan, talking about the lawsuit stemming from Sunday's mass shooting in Jacksonville. And I think you heard him clearly just saying that some of the event organizers, businesses who put on various things, it's time for them to be held to a higher security standard.
Right. It could be the first lawsuit coming out of that incident that happened Sunday. Now, I understand we have it back. You want to listen in? Let's listen back in.
Now, proper security measures can be a significant cost for business owners and event organizers. But the safety of Americans should always come before any cost considerations for businesses and event organizers. It always must be people over profits, always. Despite the fact that proper security measures could be expensive, business owners and event organizers need to take those steps to ensure the safety of the people that visit and trust them, no matter what the cost to their business. It is a different time in America. It is not a time for bare bones security or no security at all. Because as Americans, we trust that business owners and event organizers are going to protect us. That's why when we go to large events, they scan us all the way up and down. We go through metal detectors because now is the time for those types of security measures, as unfortunate as that is. Now, we are of the opinion that the highest level of security should have been present at the Landing gaming tournament on the date of this loss, the absolute highest level of security. And there's a reason. This particular area, the Landing, has had a shooting as recent as 2017. Our building was shot 2 months ago. The duct tape on the shattered window remains. Our building is right across the street from the Landing. It is foreseeable that shootings could occur at this particular location, given the history that we know. It is a foreseeable event in our opinion. Now, for that reason, and for many other reasons, we are of the opinion that this event could have and should have been prevented had there been the proper safety measures in place to prevent this tragedy from occurring. For that reason, this week, we will be filing a negligent security lawsuit on behalf of several victims who were either injured or severely hurt in a significant way, either emotionally, physically, or the other, by this tragedy. One of our victims that has retained us was shot multiple times and is dealing with the devastating consequences, both emotionally and physically, of rehabilitating himself and his life, emotionally and physically. Now, we know that the esports community is a close-knit community. The accused shooter was well known to this community. The esports industry is almost $1 billion industry. It's soon to be likely in the Olympics in 2024. This is a big business. These are the types of events that have to have the highest level of security. There's a lot of money on the line. Tensions run high, especially when one is eliminated from the tournament and now is not going to win the tournament and is also not going to get a large sum of money and an opportunity to play for even a larger sum of money. Tensions run high at these events. And this community knows that security at these events is a paramount concern. Now, I have learned through some of the news reporting, and haven't confirmed myself independently, but I have heard that some upcoming events may be canceled as event organizers take a look at their safety protocols and procedures before having another event. Now, if this is true, I think that this is a very positive step in the right direction. That is what we are seeking to accomplish from this lawsuit. Having business owners, having event organizers take a second look at their security procedures, looking at what's in the best interest of the people that visit their businesses or events to ensure the safety of all Americans when we go out into the street. And unfortunately, many times, the best way to deter a future tragedy from occurring is to highlight where certain things were done wrong in a tragedy, so that other business owners and event organizers can learn from mistakes that may have been made. And for that reason, this week we will be filing a negligent security lawsuit to hold all responsible entities accountable for what we believe to be a very preventable and tragic occurrence, in our opinion. There are so many lives that have been impacted by this tragedy. Our thoughts, our prayers remain with both the families of the victims, with the community in Jacksonville, and with the nation as we all begin to heal from this all too common mass shooting. Thank you.
Can you name the parties, please, that you're suing?
We're still considering all potential parties, and so at this time we're not going to be naming who the defendants will be. However, as just noted, the complaint will be filed this week, and at that time the complaint will speak for itself with regard to the parties who are defendants.
Ann Schindler from First Coast News. What is the venue of the lawsuit?
The venue, well, we will be filing in state court, and we'll see if we remain in state court.
In Florida?
All right, one of the attorneys there, once again, talking about filing the first lawsuit on behalf of several of those who were injured at the shooting, the mass shooting in Jacksonville that happened the other day.
Well, as we've come to witness and to just observe other survivors, this is not something that you just get over. There are not only physical but also mental repercussions that are often lifelong.
And like he pointed out, it's a different time. It calls for more security, not bare bones security.